Yo, what's going on here? Guys, we can do the SAQUON Barkley hurdle in Madden 25 now. Granted, I haven't been able to do it, but we can do it now. It's one of the coolest things ever once you actually achieve it, but it only looks like you can do it if you're playing on rookie, because if you're playing on all Madden, if you're playing on all pro, it doesn't really seem to work for some reason, which is a little bit weird because they just put a patch in and I've been hurdling literally for an hour and I haven't gotten the animation. I've done it with trigger, I've done it with pretty much I've done it with every hold trigger, left trigger, you know, no turbo, whatever the case is. Yeah, we'll get animations to hurdle, but the backwards hurdle like that he did in the game, which was one of the highlights of the patch that they dropped today, was supposed to be in it. Haven't been able to do it. And I think this is something that needs to be talked about. It's cool, awesome hurdle animations, but there's so many things in this game that that need to be spoken about, and it's unfortunate the way that things have played out because the community has been in shambles, and it's strange. Yes, this is a clickbaity kind of title, just to kind of get you in here real quick. SAQUON Barkley's new hurdle, he just did it. What was it, 2 weeks ago? At the time of this recording, and they already put it in the game. And the reason why I have no problem with that, I have no problem with them putting this specifically in the game. The problem with this hurdle being put in the game a week or two after, just a little under 2 weeks, let's say that. A little under 2 weeks after SAQUON Barkley ends up doing that, they ended up implementing it into Madden. And I understand that it's just a mocap thing. They just get somebody to pretty much put the pads on with the little balls so that they can capture it and put it into the game, because that's how they do things with animations in this game. Is they do things like that, right? But we have been voicing our complaints for years now, and things don't get fixed. But SAQUON Barkley does something amazing, and it gets put into the game 2 weeks afterwards. Now, this is a rant video, by the way, if you guys haven't understood that, and I'm pissed off as a Madden content creator, as a Madden teacher, as somebody that I love Madden. I want to preface this by saying that I love Madden. Madden has changed my life. Okay, Madden has changed my life for the better. I make good money just by playing Madden, and that's a blessing for me. But I'd be doing you guys a disservice by saying that, oh, this game is perfect and SAQUON Barkley's hurdle, I almost called it a jurdle. We're glitchy over here. Is now in the game, but we have issues in this game like high ball passes, QB overthrows. I can't catch an interception unless I'm on the D-line. Zones. Yet we're highlighting, and yes, Clint Oldenburg, the lead developer of Madden, instead of addressing any of the issues that are in the game, goes on ahead and tweets out. And I'm gonna read his tweet verbatim because I feel like it needs to be read. And he's known for trolling sometimes online, and you guys should actually, I'll leave a link to his tweet down in the description below. We have a robust title update today. The team dove in immediately to reflect the amazing SAQUON moment, as well new plays, pass coverage improvements, and more. Check it out. Clint's had a history of trolling us online. Like, he'll sit there and I remember I mentioned something about catching stats being low, and I ended up being blocked for it, because he starts talking to the community about how it's our fault when bad things happen in the game. So I go ahead and I tweet him a clip of me throwing my defender throwing a pass to somebody who had, I believe it was like 50 catching at the time. It was like an old Bo Jackson card. This was, again, we've been letting our grievances out for years, and he blocks me right after. He ended up unblocking me, and I understand that a lot of the developers and stuff like that, they end up getting a lot of, I don't want to say death threats, but Some of them get death threats, and that's terrible. You guys should never do that. Some of them get just a lot of shit talking happens, right? But to be blocked for providing a clip going against something that you're saying, childish. It kind of shows character, and that's pretty shitty character. Just don't respond at that point. Don't troll your community. It's your community. It's yours. Don't troll your community when we're expressing our grievances when it comes to the game. Zones are terrible still. You can still throw seams at almost every zone. I'm talking literally, if you put a streak out on the field and throw in a inside pass lead, assuming that you don't overthrow your pass, you can pretty much throw a seam. He's in zone coverage, so we're not gonna be able to. If they're in zone and you have a seam out on the field, doesn't matter, and you complete the pass, you can pretty much throw seams. If I waited, I could have just highballed that. You can throw seams at every zone in this game. And then if you actually take an inside quarter, a mid zone, whatever the case is, and bring them all the way down, guess what happens? You get bombed over the top every time. That's unfortunately, that's what happens. And even still, you can still throw right at seams. You can kind of throw at flats every play too, without throwing a pick as well. Small little hint. Instead of running flats, if you're trying to stop like whips and things like that, run zero yard vert hooks. A hook is gonna guard a flat better than a flat does. That logic is why we express our grievances and why we are upset with the game and the way that it plays. You can't catch interceptions, even with abilities like pick artist, if you guys are Madden Ultimate Team enthusiasts like myself, unless it's a D lineman. Like, where are we at in this game where D linemen are catching more interceptions than defensive backs? We might as well put him at wide receiver. And not only that, but even defensive backs don't attack the ball like D linemen do. You have a play where you perfectly switch stick on a defender to make a play on a ball, and instead of attacking the ball, they get behind the receiver so that the receiver can catch it, and all of a sudden what should have been an interception is now a 30-yard perfect pass that your opponent thinks, man, I made a good read on that. That's a problem. That's always been a problem. This year it's almost terrible because if you're playing Madden Ultimate, even if you're playing Regs has even less abilities, which means you guys are dropping more interceptions on Regs than you guys probably will on Madden Ultimate Team. At least on Madden Ultimate Team, I can put lurk artist on my linebackers, I can put pick artist on my DBs. Some of them, they haven't updated the AP at all. And that's an issue. Blocking. If you're a runner and someone is running dollar, someone is running dime 2-3 with 2 linemen, 3 linemen, no linebackers. They've got safeties in the middle of the field. You can't run the same play twice on them. I'm sorry, but if I'm in a heavy tight end set, I should be able to run down your throat the entire game. If you're unwilling to get out of the shitty defense you're in, dime shouldn't be run defense. There's no version of dime that should absolutely clamp up anybody running a set like this. Single back wing tight, deuce close, any of that. Doesn't matter. Not in Madden 25. Quite frankly, not in the last Madden either, because instead of making our opponents adjust to what it is that we're doing, they've made it so that the computer adjusts to what you're doing. But it doesn't work for passing. Isn't that strange? Isn't that weird? And that's why you see games that are taking an hour and 30 minutes to finish. And I'm talking MCS games, I'm talking competitive games, any games that are like 5-minute quarters and stuff like that. And you're not just like playing like a standard football game where you're running. And yes, this is a don't run the same play twice, but it doesn't work for passers. That's why that's an issue. It works for runners, and runners can't run the same play twice because you end up getting an instant burst through on the defense. You've taken away a whole portion of the game. But guess what? That one time that you can run a play that you know for a fact is gonna work, Saquon Barkley might be able to hurdle. Back to the D-line. Even if you're passing, and this doesn't happen often, but it's something that always needs to be stated. The O-line is one of the worst parts of Madden every year in and year out. The O-line is one of the worst parts in Madden, and you literally can't. Sometimes you'll get a 2-man, 3-man just burst of the line through. He'll come straight off the edge, untouched, unprovoked, anything. With 5 linemen blocking, they're sending 3, and they'll get 1 person to come in free. I'm not talking about a loop. I'm not talking about a design blitz. I'm talking about strictly just a guy coming in untouched. I'm not talking about taking the defender, dragging him out so that he comes in. I'm not talking about a loop that, dime loop, cover 6 Willie kind of blitz. I'm talking strictly just 1 D lineman bursting through, getting a disengage. And the lead developer, Clint, was an O lineman. How don't you have that figured out? The only thing that I can think of is you might not. You're pretty bad at coding a game that you're lead developer for. You're a developer, and that's something that is terribly wrong with the game. But we can hurdle with Saquon Barkley. QB overthrows. QB overthrows happen so often that I switched to revamp because I got sick of overthrowing. Now, if you notice, when I pass the ball, I don't know if it's going to do it here, but when I pass the ball, there's a giant meter that pops up. A giant meter pops up because I got so sick of placement and accuracy and overthrowing so many passes that I decided, hey, let me try revamp. And you know what's the funniest part? People laughed at me when I first started trying this. They laughed at me. But so many people are overthrowing passes. I get people coming into my stream all the time going, hey, does this actually work? What do you mean? The other passing doesn't? Everyone is overthrowing passes. Wide open slants, wide open in routes, wide open corner routes, wide open streaks, and your guy's just flailing, praying that he's able to catch a pass. But hey, we can hurdle. We can hurdle with Saquon Barkley. We can backwards hurdle with. Hold on, let's see if we can get one. Nope. High ball passes. Not only are we overthrowing, but we're still high ball passing. We're overthrowing high ball passes at the same rate as we're throwing leading passes to slant, leading passes to any in route, out route, corner route. Doesn't matter. You can throw high ball passes against anything. Tell me why a 5'11" receiver like Tyreek Hill can have a ball thrown. He's got a modicum of space. There's the receiver is right on his hip, but there's like that much space, that much, and the defender will be 6'2". The linebacker will be 6'3", and guess what? You're gonna get a better animation throwing to a Tyreek Hill if you highball it than if you have a 6'7" receiver like that. What's his name? Johnson, the Johnson player. You have a better chance at throwing at a Mo Alley Cox. Excuse me, at a Tyreek Hill than a tight end like Kyle Pitts, George Kittle, Mo Alley Cox, whoever that is 6'6", a Gronkowski kind of player. As long as you highball, you have a better chance at completing the pass to Tyreek Hill than Gronkowski. But guess what? We can hurdle. EA is in shambles, but they're making enough money that they don't care. And I think that's a problem. I love Madden. I will always play Madden. I will always drop tips for you guys. I will always work to teach you guys as much as I try, as much as I can. I will always support people like Zan Madden, for example, Civil, guys that grind this game day in and day out. But it's sad that this is where the game is, and it's been in this state for a long time. That's where this video came from. It's because I'm passionate about the game. I absolutely love Madden. I know if you're watching this, if you're watching this and you're still here listening to this rant, I know you love Madden probably just as much as I do. So it's not a situation where it's like, oh man, just nut up and do your thing. No, something's got to change. That's terrible. That's being tone deaf. I understand that this is a highlight, but you can't highlight the moments where SAQUON does a hurdle and implement that into the game immediately. But we've been sharing our grievances for years now, and you guys still haven't been able to put 2 and 2 together and make something happen to where we're happy. When's the last time we've had a patch? When's the last time that we've had something in Madden where a fix in Madden where at the end of the year we said that was the best patch ever? It hasn't happened. You guys don't know what you're doing. EA needs to hire new developers that actually care about the game, that actually care about creating a good football game. Because you guys seem like you only care about lining your pockets. And that is sad. And I don't know if it's the higher ups. I don't know if it's the actual developer. So if it is, I apologize to any developer that I've ever disrespected, because that's obviously not my intention. But when you sit there and the entire community is sharing their grievances, and I know it's not that serious. Oh, grievances. Nobody died. I understand that. But when the entire community is sharing their grievances about the things that are wrong with the game, and you highlight a SAQUON Barkley hurdle that is going to change nothing in the game. Nothing. And I'll tell you another reason why it's going to change nothing in the game. It's because most players that play at a decent, let's say from average and up, everyone is literally on conservative. Because spin moves don't work. Juke moves are terrible. You guys patched the spin move early on in the year. Now the game is boring. So when is anybody going to be able to put... You won't see the hurdle at the MCS events. I'll tell you that much. You won't see a hurdle at any big time event. So tell me why that was highlighted. But we're still going to drop picks. We're still throwing at zones. We're still dealing with overthrows. We're still dealing with high balls. We're still dealing with bad O-line play. You can't even run a stunt on defense because I think EA is scared of what is going to happen if you end up running a stunt. I don't want to rant for too much longer. Just know that I am unhappy with the direction Madden has gone. And I hope that you guys share in the same thought process as me, because I care about the game. I try to speak from it. I try to speak on it from a point that not only a casual gamer can resonate with me, but also the most competitive players can resonate as well. And there are too many things wrong with the game for the lead developer to highlight a SAQUON Barkley hurdle. And I understand it's a publicity thing. It's a hey, let's get the biggest thing that we can think of and put it in the game. But the game is in a terrible state, and that's where we're headed. Let's just pray that there's not like an amazing 3-finger catch, because next thing you know, that's what's going to be put in the game. Oh, we put in Garrett Wilson's one-hander in the game, and now fix the game, please. Do something. Do something. My name is Pwny Montana. Hope you guys appreciate this little rant. We'll go over the patch notes tomorrow. Yeah, appreciate you guys.